My Airbnb host is harassing me to delete my review. Please remove your review. If you don't remove your review, we're gonna lose our super host rating.
That is a video that is going viral right now on TikTok of a host begging a guest to delete what may have been an honest review, or at least an honest review for that guest, because it reflected something that didn't go well during that guest stay. And I could tell y'all, if you've been hosting for just a few months or even a year for that matter, you probably weren't even surprised by that clip. And that is actually part of the problem, because something has shifted on Airbnb, and it's not just with guests, it's with us as hosts. And I think it's time that we had an honest conversation about it, not just host to guest, but host to host. Because the uncomfortable part for me watching these clips is realizing that I've had moments where I could feel myself drifting towards some of these same behaviors that are shown in these clips. Not publicly and definitely not on TikTok, but internally. And I don't think most hosts actually start out that way. I think burnout slowly rewires and shifts how they think about hosting and hospitality for that matter. I get it. You have a bad guest and you add more rules to address that behavior that bad guest exhibited. And then you add more rules after that, and that builds suspicion. And more suspicion turns into tension. And eventually you get to the point where guests stop feeling hosted and start feeling more managed in your property. Because after hosting Airbnb for over a decade, after hosting over 10,000 guests and over 100 listings in the past 12 months, I think there's more truth in that comment than most of us care to admit. Now, I want you to hear me clearly on this, y'all. This is not a video where I'm attacking hosts, because my partner and I are hosts, and if I'm telling the truth, this business changed our lives. And so I can tell you with clarity and great confidence that I understand every single pressure that creates this type of behavior. So bad guests, property damage, late night emergencies, cleaners quitting, 4-star reviews that mess with your rankings. Look, I get it. I get all of it. But somewhere along the way, a lot of us slowly stopped building around hospitality and started building around fear. And guests can feel it immediately. And so today I want to walk through the 5 host behaviors that are really quietly hurting the guest experience. And if we're being honest, quietly hurting our business as well. And as I said before, this is not about shaming anybody, because honestly, a lot of us are closer to this than we realize. And I'm going to come back to this later, but I think Airbnb itself is starting to quietly move against hosts who create too much friction on the platform. And that part matters more than most people realize. So let's get into it.
Please make sure you fluff every pillow at least 7 times. Before leaving, please remember that all chairs must be facing true north upon leaving. Garbage and recycling must be taken out by you 5 minutes before you leave, no more, no less. The garbage goes 1 mile left. You have to walk. There is no way to get there any other way. Recycling is actually a mile the other direction to your right upon leaving the house. Yes, there is a timer. If you do not get there in time, you will be bringing your own garbage and recycling home.
And I get it. That clip is kind of funny until you realize that guests don't know it's barely exaggerated. And honestly, I understand how hosts end up in that position. Because when you're doing the turnovers yourself, when cleaners are late, when guests leave messes, when your margins are pretty tight, it may start to feel a little reasonable to ask your guests to pitch in a little bit. And I think it's right there in that moment where something emotional begins to shift. Because once guests feel responsible for cleaning the property, it is at that moment where they stop feeling hosted and really start feeling managed in your property. And Airbnb sees it too, because the platform has already started changing policies around unreasonable checkout expectations. And that is not random. That is Airbnb responding to what they're seeing in host behavior. And y'all, in our own business, we've gone in the opposite direction. We have radically simplified our checkout processes over the past few years. We just ask our guests to lock the doors, leave their used towels together, start the dishwasher if they use dishes. That is basically it. And y'all, I'm curious, what is included in your checkout instructions? What are you asking guests to do before they leave your property? And go and drop it in the comment, because I'm going to read all those comments and I will try to respond to all of them as quickly as I can. And what I want you to realize is the emotional ending of a guest stay matters more than you realize. Because it isn't those last 10 minutes before guests check out. That's when guests decide how they feel about the property.
Is there a cap on how many rules can be displayed at Airbnbs? Antique and fragile. Please do not attempt to open or pull on knobs. Decorative piece only. Do not touch or move for any reason. I am 10,000 years old and will break if you look at me the wrong way. Absolutely no jumping on beds. Any breakage of beds will be immediately passed to renters. Understood? These shelves, owners use only. Microwave is automatic. Do not pull, open, or push to close. Please do not clean marble countertops or appliances with any abrasives. Please only use soap and water spray bottle provided below sink. On departure, please leave all furniture and bedding in respective rooms and houses where originally found. This was our grandmother's table. Please be kind to it and use a placemat.
And this one actually hits close to home because my partner and I, when we first started on Airbnb, we furnished our properties with the furniture that we already have. So our property felt very personal because in a lot of ways it was. And if you're like a lot of other hosts, you're going to try to include beautiful furniture, the decor that you love, things that you think photographed well and stand out well online. And maybe you're making the same mistake that we did because the furniture that we included in our property was really not built for heavy use. And every time something broke, which was often, I took it personally. And looking back, I think that's where a lot of us as hosts start changing emotionally. Because once you become emotionally attached to the objects, the furniture in your property, guests are going to start feeling dangerous instead of welcomed in that property. And I can remember another host telling me something a few years ago that completely changed how I look at hosting on Airbnb. They told me, they said, "Hey, Seth, you're not running a museum." And I can tell y'all, I was a little bit offended at first, but that line really stuck with me. Because if you're including furniture in your property where if it breaks, you're going to be emotionally devastated, it's probably not something that you should put inside of that property.
So if you're blessed enough to have an Airbnb that you rent out, or a lake house or a condo or whatever, don't be that asshole that goes in and adjusts the thermostat off of what the people who paid you to stay there have it set at. That's so rude. I've had that happen to me at like 3 separate rentals now. And what they do is go in on their phones through their little app, and they have a Wi-Fi thermostat, and they adjust it. And I didn't pay to stay somewhere and sweat all weekend long. So whenever I go out on the lake all day and I come back and the place that I'm renting and paying good money to rent is 80 degrees because you all adjusted it back up, you're wrong for that. You are. And don't even rent your shit out if you don't want the utility bill to go up, because I'm quite certain that the cost of my rental this weekend will pay your entire utility bill for the whole month, and maybe 2.
So locked thermostat, plastic wrapped furniture, zip-tied cabinets. And in that kind of environment, guests don't feel hosted in those kind of spaces. They feel like suspects. And this is one of the biggest mindset shifts we've made over the years. Damage at your property is not personal betrayal. Damage is really just a part of doing business on this platform. And as soon as we realize this as hosts, we're going to be in a much better headspace to run our business. And now I can tell y'all, our biggest concern in putting together an Airbnb is not design, it really is durability. That is the thing that we go to first. And so we're looking at furniture that actually is much closer to commercial use than residential use. Not emotional attachment, y'all. This is a practical decision about including things that look pretty good, but will hold up over time. And honestly, this is exactly where most hosts will overspend. They spend thousands of dollars on the wrong furniture, and they ignore the things that actually impact reviews and their revenue. And that is why I built the Airbnb setup checklist. It walks you through what actually matters, what guests actually notice when they come to your property, and all the things that you can ignore because they do not drive your reviews and they don't impact your revenue. It's free, and you can go and grab it down below using the link.
I already know that I'm not going to be leaving them a 5-star review, so I don't have high hope. Living room looks good. The reason I know I'm not going to be leaving them a 5-star review is because our neighbors texted us this morning saying that these guests were driving around the neighborhood really loud and like racing in their cars and stuff, and it was disrupting the neighborhood. And number 2, they were smoking outside, not cigarettes, if you were catching my drift. He said it was so strong that he couldn't let his son go outside. And these neighbors are super chill. If he says it's bad, I trust that it's bad. So far, it's actually looking cleaner than I was anticipating. Office looks good.
And this one is hard for me to talk about because I completely understand the instinct. And that is because as hosts, we want to protect our property. We want to avoid parties. We want to avoid bad guests. And if you're not careful, you can slowly start seeing guests as risk before you start to see them as guests. And I think that line matters a lot because there is a difference between security and suspicion. Guests can feel the difference immediately. Too many warnings, too many assumptions, too much monitoring. And really, the thing I find wild about that clip is that the property itself actually looked fine. But emotionally, the hosts already decided how they felt about the guests before even walking inside. And y'all, I said this before, but I've caught myself drifting to that mindset more times in the past than I care to acknowledge. And that is why this conversation matters. And I'm curious, where do you think the line exists between protecting your property and making a guest feel watched? Do y'all think it's okay to have cameras at your property? Is it okay to even have a Ring camera at your property? Because a lot of us are trying to figure that out right now. And y'all, if this kind of conversation matters to you, I want to invite you to subscribe to this channel. And I make videos like this every single week for hosts who are trying to build a peaceful and profitable Airbnb. Not hustle culture, not fake passive income, not fantasy stuff. Real hospitality, real operations, and real long-term hosting and profitability. That is the community that I'm trying to build here, and I want to invite you to be a part of it. Go ahead and hit like and subscribe.
Come with me to see how Airbnb guests left the place after a 2-night stay. Let's see. All right. So they used the blanket, which is here, and they must have also used the pizza blanket, which I'll find in a second. Okay, so overall, looks good. Can't really complain. Let's check the kitchen. Okay, so not too bad, not too bad. Looks like they didn't use the coffee. Oh, they did. Okay, they opened it. And then let's check the trash. They didn't take the trash out, which I don't require the guests to, because I just use it when I'm cleaning. All the waters are gone. They were thirsty. Let's check the dishwasher. No dishes. I literally leave 2 rolls of toilet paper in here for a 2-night stay, which I personally think is more than enough. Toilet paper is always gone. 2 full rolls of toilet paper, 2-night stay, 2 people.
And y'all, this clip actually hits me the hardest because I think the mindset creeps in slowly, especially after enough difficult guests. And eventually, normal guest behavior starts feeling emotionally disrespectful. Something as plain and simple as wrinkled bedding, used towels, extra trash in the trash can. And I get it, y'all. I have been there more times than I care to acknowledge. And this is where a normal turnover, a simple routine normal turnover, start to turn into a really big deal. And that gets dangerous because guests can absolutely feel when a host resent them from using the property normally. Just routine, normal use of the property. And this next clip is really the clearest example of that shift.
They broke our lamp. All right, we'll see if this can just be easily...
Okay, I did find the remote over here under some of the cushions, so that's good.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to just pop this back on because it does look pretty gnarly.
Definitely played the piano because the bench is moved.
Good, that's what it's here for.
And all this stuff is moved. I don't know why.
I highly doubt there is a note in here, but hey, you never know.
Nope, not this time.
Yep, could have told you that.
And I want to be fair because there are legitimate issues in that clip. Broken lamp, well, that's legitimate. Unregistered guests, look, we've been there. That is legitimate. But the comfort on the couch, the remote under the cushion, well, that's normal use. And real talk, it looks and feels incredibly exaggerated to say that these guests actually trashed this property. And just the weight of running this property, the weight of doing this business can sometimes change how we feel emotionally about the business as hosts. And I get it. Eventually, every little thing starts feeling disrespectful. And when this happens, your rating for the guests stop being about the actual guests, how they actually left your property, and more about how you feel emotionally. And I think that that's a dangerous place for us to get to as hosts.
Let's do a walkthrough to see how my last guest did. They had a party and they were here for 2 days, so I'm coming to check things out. Well, I go to pick up all of these trash bags to start getting the trash out and realize that a bunch of my dishes are broken in here. So I have to determine what's broken and needs to be replaced. I came out here to check the pool about 30 minutes ago, and it is dangerously low to the point where if I don't get water filled in here soon, it could affect the motor. So I got the water hose refilling the pool, and I'm gonna get that cleaned out. the hood underneath the microwave has been burnt, so it looks like they may have caused some type of fire and this melted and burned. So I'm gonna have to get this replaced now. Finding paraphernalia remnants in all of the bedrooms. My pool sticks are broken. 2 of 3 of the pool sticks are broken. The top shelf is broken here. The pieces that go in there are missing.
Now, this is actual damage, broken equipment, burnt appliances, destroyed inventory. And what stood out to me in this clip was this host was much calmer than the person who had a wrinkled blanket on the couch. And this contrast matters because guests are watching all of this as well. And honestly, I don't think hotels are winning again because they got dramatically better at hosting. I just think that running an Airbnb, it makes us a lot more emotionally involved. More tension, more friction, more suspicion. And when this happens, y'all, we add tons more rules. And guests appear to be feeling exhausted by it all. And that is a real risk to us as hosts. It is not just one bad review. It is the entire emotional experience of Airbnb slowly drifting away from hospitality to resentment and anger.
My Airbnb host is harassing me to delete my review, but I didn't even leave a bad review, so I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm not even the kind of person that would normally leave reviews, but I checked out of this Airbnb yesterday, and since then I've already gotten like 5 messages from this host being like, please review me, please review me. So I did, and shocker, be careful what you wish for. I was honest. Oh my God, I gave a 4-star review overall because it was a nice stay, but not worth 5 stars. There were 2 main issues, I think. One was that it was freezing and the thermostat was capped at a certain temperature, so it was like always 62 degrees. And the other is the place had an overpowering air freshener scent, and I was like, I bet this is covering up a really bad smell. And sure enough, when I left, all of my clothes, everything I brought has this like gross smell. I have to like wash it all. So just that right there, I was like, I probably wouldn't go back. So like, I'm not gonna give 5 stars to somewhere I wouldn't go back to. Anyways, I left this review, and 1 minute later, I started getting inundated with message after message from this host being like, please remove your review. Here's step-by-step how to do it. Contact Airbnb support. And then like gaslighting me about the issues, being like, well, if it was so bad, like, why didn't you tell me in the moment? Why wait until you had to leave a review? They were like, I don't know what smell you're referring to, but our place is brand new. Like, respectfully, it was like the most rundown old house ever. But anyways, they were like, if you don't remove your review, like, we're gonna lose our super host rating, like it really impacts us. But then I was reading online a little bit, and it kind of makes it seem like the Airbnb rating system is like a 4-star is actually a lot worse than it seems. Like, it's kind of unfair like that. So I'm kind of torn what to do. Like, it's weird that they're harassing me, but also I don't want to really negatively impact their business like more than I intend to. But I did leave like a well-rounded, honest review. I was like, it was a good location, it was well stocked, etc. But like, these are my 2 issues. So I don't know.
And y'all, I understand this panic. I understand the frantic behavior on the part of this host because I've been there too. Because reviews affect our income, it affects our search rankings, and by extension, it affects our bookings. And you're taking a real risk. You're really going there when you get to that place where you're asking a guest to remove their review from the platform. And as I've grown and matured in this business, this is a thing that I've learned personally. Sometimes the review isn't the enemy. Sometimes the review is the audit. And I remember getting some feedback a few years ago that frankly, y'all, it frustrated me. And later, once I kind of got to a calmer place and I was able to step back and think about it, the guest was flagging problems in our business that we needed to address. And I really believe that that distinction matters because the goal isn't about protecting ourselves from honest reviews. The goal is about creating an amazing experience so good reviews, 5-star reviews become the norm. And y'all, Airbnb changed our lives. I still think that this is an incredible business, but some of the best travel experiences that I've ever had come from hosts who made me feel genuinely welcomed. And in the early days of hosting Airbnb, when we didn't have the best furniture, when frankly we didn't really know what we were doing, communication and guest experience was our highest rating overall. So in fact, that is the pillar on which we build our business. And yes, I'm absolutely clear. We are in the hospitality business. And I think the hosts who are best positioned to win over the next 5 years isn't the host with the most rules. It's going to be the host that has the least friction in their business, the hosts who create the most seamless and pleasant experience for their guests. Because there really isn't much debate about it. That is what guests are prepared to reward right now. And honestly, I think it's increasingly what Airbnb itself is starting to reward. So I want to hear from you. What are you doing to shore up your business right now? What steps are you taking to protect your property while at the same time not making guests feel like suspect while they're staying in your place? Go and drop a comment below. I'm going to read and respond to all of these. I'm looking forward to hearing from you on this one now, y'all. And the truth is, some Airbnb guests naturally create more friction than others. And some guest types are harder to serve consistently. And that is the part that most hosts will skip. Rather than addressing the problems in their business, they just go and tack on another rule. All of this may lead to instability in our business, but I can tell you there are some Airbnb groups. There's some Airbnb niches that stay booked year around. And so in this video, I'm breaking down the 3 Airbnb niches that stay booked even during the slow season, and why some setups are quietly more stable, more profitable, and much easier to host than others. And so if your booking feels inconsistent or your hosting feels heavier than it should, that is where you need to go next, because when you pair what you've learned in this video with that one, you're going to be ahead of 90% of the other hosts in your market. I'm over there. See you in a few minutes.